lucky we got 'em. Good times. Good morning, everyone. And you, specifically, I'm talking directly to you through the TV camera. What was that show? Was it Romper Room, where she would hold up a mirror? She'd hold up a mirror in front of her face and say, I see, oh, look, there you go, hold on. This is my mirror. Just, there you go. I see Libby and Allison and Marcy and Phil. Do you guys remember that? What show was that? Was that Romper Room? Is that a Canadian thing? I don't even know. Miss Debbie on Romper Room. I see Debbie. I haven't seen Debbie in a while. I hope Debbie's doing okay. Haven't seen me in a while. It's been too long, kids. It really has. And I've been busy with a bunch of stuff, including fixing the whole damn house. I just discovered this morning. I had a little coffee, and then I went to go violate enemy airspace, and one of the bathrooms is leaking. Found that out. Walked into the bathroom, and I was like, what is that noise? And I stopped what I was watching on my little phone, and I was like, oh, that's water running. Why is there water running in this room? Because there's only the toilet's leaking. Well, good morning to you. My bone was stimulated for half an hour this morning, and on Monday I get an X-ray. For those of you not following along at home, that's what's going on with my foot, and it has been going on now, coming up on 6 months. It was 6 to 8 weeks, the original diagnosis and prognosis. It's just the prognosis, and yeah, I remember Romper Stompers, and I loved Romper Stompers. I still would play with Romper Stompers. If there were grown-up Romper Stompers, I would just be walking around my yard in the Romper Stompers. And everybody would be like, oh my god, where did you get those? We should start selling those. There's probably a patent on them. Are they available for adults? Are there let's look it up. This is Screw Fox and their news. Hold on. Adult Romper Stompers. No, these are just rompers. That's not going to work out. Here we go. YouTube Romper Stompers, vintage 1970s.
Your home internet is going ultra.
This is an ad.
Introducing Verizon 5G.
Hold on, you guys can't hear that. I don't know that my headphones are in the right hole. Let me,
Home.
There we go, that works. And are you guys hearing that? Let me check. Yeah, you guys should be hearing that. So skip that ad.
You are now watching a Lucky Penny.
Oh my god, so loud in my ears. Hold on, let me see. If it's too loud for you guys, let me know. How about this?
Shop product feature.
I don't know what this is. There we go. See? Right here. Remember those? Those are Romper Stompers, kids. And you would wear them on your feet. And are they going to demonstrate them? Here we go. Here's some demonstration of the Romper Stompers.
It's the Romper Stompers.
Go ahead.
Now how?
Completely pointless, but so much fun. So much more fun than all the other things in the 70s, except the lawn darts, because those were dangerous. They took those away. But you're welcome to bring a loaded gun through the airport security. It's a minor infraction. We'll give you a misdemeanor ticket and send you home. Madison Crawford, our friend Madison Crawford, Congress baby from North Carolina, took a loaded gun, through the airport security. For the second time. That's the one time. Oh my god, I totally forgot that it was in there. I use it for my personal safety. I'm a Congress person. I'm threatened. I got these death threats. I have to, I keep it on my body at all times. Okay, I get it. Twice? One time I went through security with a steak knife in my bag, just a regular steak knife. It was actually from the girl I was dating at the time. It was part of her set, and they're like, you can go outside and mail it to yourself. Because it was a steak. I forget why I had it in there. It was in my briefcase, and I think I had gotten something on it. Like I taped it for some reason. I don't even remember. But I was like, it was in Vegas, and I had flown from Seattle to Vegas, and at SeaTac, they just waved me right through. This is after 9/11, too. They're just like, yeah. Yeah, oh, you got a steak knife in there? Ah, you're good. And this is probably circa 2014, 2015, the salad days. So I'd been using it to cut up cucumbers for the salad, and they took it away. And they didn't give me a ticket or anything. I'm just honest mistake. But a loaded gun? Wow. And it's just a misdemeanor. Estimated 6,100 people have been treated in hospitals, hospital emergency rooms for injuries involving lawn darts. Yeah. Those are acceptable casualties.
Noting.
What are those called? Something costs. When there's a war and the civilians get killed and they call it auxiliary costs or whatever. This is a phrase for it.
That earlier this week on Monday, Ukraine's National Railway reported 5 missile strikes near train tracks shortly after the U.S. Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense used trains.
So the Republican criticism of the Biden administration involving Ukraine has been predominantly, we're not doing enough. Where's this aid? Why don't they have this aid? Why don't they need weapons? They need training. They need weapons. Why aren't we giving them everything we can possibly give them? So we've given them more than $3 billion already. Okay? And Ukraine, by the way, if you remember a couple months ago, we were like, oh yeah, 3 days. Kiev's going to fall and Russia will be in charge and then they're going to move into Moldova and then they're going to maybe attack Poland. This is how people were thinking at the time. We're now 2 months in and the Russians lost the war for Kiev. You can call it the Battle of Kiev. Now, they may come back. It looks like they're shelling again. And they're just going to do it from a distance until the Ukrainian spirit is broken. But, man, doesn't look like you can break a Ukraine spirit very easily. So, we've given them $3 billion. Yesterday, Joe Biden comes out and says, we're giving him 11 times that. $33 billion. And Andy Biggs voted against it. And Andy Biggs, the Republican Congress baby, said, well, the reason is southern border. Because the southern border, these people, I'm not even going to go into the atrocities, but right now they're being shelled.
While visiting Ukraine.
And that's not even talking about what's going on in secret in cities that the media can't access. By the way, Joe Biden yesterday in his speech praised the media. Without the media, we wouldn't know what was going on over there. The press informs us of the situation, puts themselves in harm's way. Some of them have been killed. Some of them have been kidnapped. Do you remember how much of a big deal it was when Trump got a couple of hostages back or even one hostage back from North Korea? Do you remember the big deal he made about it over and over and over and over? Obama had 11 hostages released, by the way. Nobody remembers. Didn't make a big deal out of it. Well, there was a young American, former Marine, kidnapped in Russia, arrested on false charges, according to the Americans, in 2019, during Trump's term. Trump couldn't get him back. Biden just got him back. Did they mention it on Fox? I didn't see it. I was watching off and on all day. Didn't see it. Not a big deal. Will Biden brag about it at his rallies? No. Will Biden brag about it from his basement? No. I don't even know if he mentioned it yesterday in the speech. I didn't hear it. Could have. Again, I've pretty much my day involves leaning over a toilet, trying to get a part to fit that doesn't fit, and listening bit by bit over my phone.
Now, another series of missile attacks last night after the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres toured the destruction around Kyiv yesterday.
The war is an absurdity in the 21st century. The war is evil. There is no way a war can be acceptable in the 21st century. Look at that.
Guterres spoke with Ukrainian.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to accept war at any time, any century. But yeah, this is I don't know how Russia climbs out of it. They will eventually. But they are now a pariah on the world stage. And countries will eventually, hopefully, cut off the Russian oil supply.
President.
They've already been, now Russia has already punished Poland by saying, yeah, you're not getting any more of oil. We're done.
Zelensky, and he called out the UN Security Council, saying it failed to prevent and end this war.
Remember the outrage in the first couple of weeks about how much Russian oil America was using, and because Joe Biden canceled the Keystone XL pipeline, that was the reason that Russia was invading. And then American companies just stopped accepting Russian oil. And then Biden said, we can't accept Russian. That's it. Nobody's accepting Russian oil involving the United States. And we've all moved on, and the outrage is gone. But that was the reason, remember?
Which he calls a great source of disappointment and anger. Meanwhile, President Biden is asking Congress for 33...
Hey, why don't you fix something? Biden needs to fix something. And then he fixes it, and then there's no, oh, good, I'm glad he did that. Good job. Way to do what needed to be done. Nope. Just moving on to the next southern border outrage.
$1 billion for a crackdown on Putin's oligarchs. And an American is now among the dead here in Ukraine. 22-year-old Marine veteran Willie Joseph Cancel died fighting alongside Ukrainian forces. He leaves behind his wife and a 7-month-old son. His wife says her husband was a hero, and all she wants is for him to come home and be given a proper burial. The Marine appears to be the first U.S. citizen to die in this war. Back to you guys.
Hey, Matt, a couple of things. First off, what about the symbolism?
So it looked like Kilimanjaro in the background there. But yeah, there are Americans who are volunteering to go over there and fight.
Of the UN General Secretary.
I mean, it's a fight for democracy. There's those guys, and then there's the people on January 6th. I was watching some coverage yesterday of one of the trials of one of the cops who was at January 6th beating up other cops.
Secretary
in self-defense. That's his claim.
Meeting with Vladimir Putin the day before, and then comes to Kyiv and they bomb the city. I mean, what does that say about the quality of their meeting, and what does it say about Vladimir Putin's quest for some type of ceasefire?
Yeah, and our understanding is that...
I have a spider just crawling up my glasses. You guys see him? Where's he? Oh, he's hanging down here now. There you go. See the ghost? I've got a ghost in front of me. Every time you see the coverage of, like, somebody's Ring camera, he's crawling up to my glasses now. Every time you see coverage of some Ring camera, like, look at these ghosts. Look at this ghost going across this Ring camera in the night. What is that, people? I believe in the supernatural. It's a spider. The spider making a web. So, all right. Well, we'll just set these glasses aside for a moment. Let that guy do his business.
The UN Secretary General remained...
I have not killed a spider in, I'll tell you, 32 to 48, so 16 years. I've not killed a spider intentionally in 16 years. Because a young lady I happened to be dating at the time said, don't kill spiders. And so I don't.
In Kyiv overnight last night, so he didn't hide.
And then she said, don't ever contact me again. And then the judge said 300 yards and no social media. Anyway, that's a different story.
I tail it out of...
So I don't kill spiders. The rest of the stuff I don't pay any attention to. I have an assumed name. I have different profiles. Anyway, let's not get into it right now. It's not important.
There. And, you know, as we reported, there is a lot of suspect timing here, that there was all these missile strikes shortly after our American diplomats were here, and now this major city, the capital city of Kyiv, was bombed while you had the UN Secretary General was there, Brian.
And Matt, what do you know about this? I mean, he's so young. He was a corrections officer. He signed up to work for a private military contracting company, and he is killed. Willie Joseph Cancel. He leaves behind a 7-month-old baby.
That does look like Kilimanjaro. It could not be. I don't know. It doesn't. It's not really germane to the subject at hand. I just have a thing for Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, our understanding is that he was a corrections officer in the state of Kentucky, and then he signed up, you know, with a third-party agency that was employing him here in Ukraine. He just had a 7-month-old child. His wife said that he was a hero, and she feels like it was his calling to come over here and assist the Ukrainians. Ainsley.
So sad.
No kidding.
So
all right,
young.
Matt Finn, we thank you very much. Regarding Willie Joseph Cancel, who was killed over there, They still have not recovered his body. The guys he was working with, he was, as Matt just detailed, he was working for a private military contracting firm. They haven't found his body, but they're trying. The men with him said it was either grab his body or get killed. And that's one of the things that his widow now has.
I have, by the way, I have no problem with people being left behind. We always recover our dead. We always get, okay, that's, but if you're in danger yourself, if the battle has been lost, get the hell out of there. What if I'm ever in a battle and I'm shot and I'm clearly dead, my head is a different place than my body is supposed to be, then yeah, just get out of there. Save yourself. Nobody wants death.
Dead.
I've died before too. It's really boring. And by the way, if I'm dead, I'm fine. I don't exist anymore. It's okay.
She just wants him home.
She said that he had aspirations of being a police officer or joining the fire department here in New York. He was, she said, I didn't expect to be a widow at 23 years old and our son to be without a father. All I want for him is to come home and give him a proper burial.
Thanks a lot, Putin.
Wow, that's
How are they going to pin this one on Biden is my question on the Fox and Friends.
the case with the good guys in terms of the Russians. You know how the Ukrainians were able to pick up the intercepts and the communications among Ukrainian troops. Well, it turns out in one of the intercepts, the Russian soldiers admitting we lost 25,000 have been killed in just 2 months. Right. In just 2 months, it's another intercepted phone call that reveals the damage done. We thought 20,000 was high. 25,000, let alone the countless wounded, in a war they totally chose, that many of which didn't even know they were getting into.
That would end in 2 days, allegedly.
And the reason why this is financed by the Russians is because of their oil and gas. More good news. Now that they took the gas away from Poland and Bulgaria, already moves to fortify them. And Germany, who is getting 55% of its natural gas from Moscow, and about 80% of their oil and gas, has now knocked it down to about 20%, and they're prepared to live life without natural gas and oil of Russia as they're going to other.
Yeah, about half the heat during the winter months in Germany comes from Russia. I almost said the Soviet Union. So now that winter is winding down in Germany, they can drastically reduce their dependency on Russia. And hopefully by next year, when the cold hits, they're able to do without it. I just don't understand. Obviously, Putin's a crazy person. It just seems like a bad idea all around. Hold on. Just got noisy in here for some reason. I hope you guys didn't get affected by that. I hope your day goes along without that.
Other areas, all the things we've been trying to push, that Trump was pushing for them to get off Russian oil and gas. Why are we watching your back? If you're going to be susceptible to their crack pipe of oil and gas, they'll be able to shut it off when you need it most. Now they finally have woken up to that. And if you shut off the oil and gas revenue for Vladimir Putin, again, it misplays his hand.
Right. Well, Trump could have done several things while in office. First off, you know that he had an executive order to make the Keystone XL go through back in 2017 when he first took office. He screwed it up. He screwed it up so that it was challenged in court. He basically wrote the executive order completely ignoring any environmental impacts, completely bypassing all of it. That was the thing. We're getting rid of all regulations, build a pipeline, which of course was challenged in court by not only native organizations, but by American organizations, by cities and towns, where the pipeline was going to pass so close it would affect their drinking water. By the way, crude oil, which is what you get out of the tar sands, is what would have been traveling through the Keystone XL, it's heavy crap. It's dirty, dirty oil. Like regular oil isn't bad enough. Crude oil will get into a river and just sink to the bottom and stay there. It doesn't just, it floats on the top and you can skim it, and it goes downstream and you can skim it and you can catch it with the nets and they got the special microbes for eating. No. It sinks to the bottom and makes the drinking water undrinkable.
I mean, they're not going to be able to finance this thing for...
Anyway, he screwed that up. Something else about Trump. Yeah, okay.
For a few more months.
Well, yeah, and the oligarchs in Russia won't be able to prop him up for how long? Actually, the oligarchs were a topic yesterday. The president went to the Roosevelt Room. there in the West Wing, and he announced that the United States is going to be providing $33 billion worth of more stuff for Ukraine, which they desperately need. There's the president going in. The way it works is he's going to stand and make prepared comments, and he's going to read off a script and or a teleprompter. Apparently yesterday was the first day for a...
Okay, that's all the politicians read off a script or a teleprompter when they're giving a written speech. That's the way it works. By the way, did you see teleprompter, I almost called him teleprompter Ted. Teleprompter Don in the last rally talked about the teleprompters, which he never uses. I don't even know how they put these things up here.
New staff member at the White House because somebody put into his teleprompter a word that regarded the oligarchs that Joe Biden simply could not say.
He did. He got it right. He stumbled over it his first. It's a tough word. I get it. We all get tongue-tied. This is a guy who had a stuttering problem. We all get tongue-tied from time to time. There's just words that don't work well with our mouths. And he got it right. Let's see if they show the part where he gets it right. He stumbled over it. He came right back to it and nailed it.
And so he laughed it off. Watch this.
Yeah.
I'm also sending to Congress a comprehensive package of that will enhance our underlying effort to accommodate the Russian oligarchs. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy and the guys who are the kleptocracies.
Yeah.
But these are bad.
It's a tough word to say, kleptocracy. It does not roll off the tongue.
Bad guys.
And that's a bad word to read.
Oh, and then he read the sentence again and nailed it. But we're not going to see that. We're not going to see that. They're not going to show us that. We're just going to show, oh, look at this senile old guy who gets a word wrong and laughs about it.
In the teleprompter.
the amount of times that Trump gets a single word wrong, it just, he kept calling it a, not lockbox. What did he kept say? Drock grox. He kept calling drop boxes drock box twice on Saturday or whenever the rally was. Twice he got it wrong. Does anyone want to see that? We can dig that up off of Ason's feed.
What happens here on our TV show is, most of the program is unscripted, but we'll have these
Drockbach, yeah,
teases, and we'll have these intros. And if there's a hard word, particularly, because the teleprompter will break it down differently, or if there's if there is a name that we've never seen, sometimes they'll spell it out phonetically. But for them to put that word, which they could have used a different word. So the president could have described the same thing, but they put that word in.
No, but he got it. Right after that, he nailed it.
In there, and as you saw, he just stalled out.
Senator.
He did not. He did not stall out. You play 13 more seconds of that clip, and he nails it. Hold on. You know what? I just trust me on this. If anyone has any doubts that he didn't just repeat the sentence and nail the word, let me know, and we'll watch it. But just trust me on this.
Tom Cotton just tweeted out, alarming. Everyone on Twitter is talking about this. The town hall shared a clip of it, and the caption was, Biden's brain just broke again. The Blaze says Biden's brain stops working in the middle of a speech.
Remember the guy who didn't know what xenophobic was? Remember he called it Zima-phobic?
Washington Times.
Remember that guy?
Says Joe Biden struggling.
Remember that guy who attacked the country? Right now, Nixon is rolling around in his grave going, first off, let me out of here. Secondly, wait, he did what? I had some guys break into a file cabinet and I had to resign. He attacked the Capitol?
To say kleptocracy, which is ironic since his family literally is one.
Right.
Harsh.
Wow, that is harsh. But you know what you just said? I didn't see the Washington Post and New York Times.
Because Hunter holds office.
MSNBC, they seem to ignore things like this.
Yeah, because he stumbled over a word, and then he read it again, and nailed it, and moved on with the speech. And by the way, I don't know that they've actually mentioned the big part of the speech. $36 billion to help Ukraine. Their news broadcast started with, oh my God, things are so terrible in Ukraine. Oh my God, an American Marine, a young American Marine was just killed in Ukraine, volunteering to help Ukraine, gave his life. Why aren't we doing more? Oh, Joe Biden said we're going to give them $33 billion of weapons that they've asked for, that they've begged us for. No strings attached. Here you go. We're not going to sunset this. As long as you need help, America stands behind democracy 100%. Joe Biden stumbled over
Well, I looked it up this morning, Brian, and I saw that a number of news outlets covered the actual announcement of the $33 billion.
There it is.
But they didn't talk about how he had problems with that word.
Yeah, because it's completely irrelevant. Because he stumbled over it and then nailed it. It's not like he doesn't know the word xenophobic.
Well,
but that's another reason to watch Fox. We try to do all the news.
Teleprompters are tricky, even if the reporter's name is John.
Oh, the irony.
You'll call him Melvin.
Well, when I forget the reporter's name, I'll come up with a name. He'll open up as John, he'll end up as Melvin.
We all make mistakes, but that's one of those things.
He keeps making them.
Yes.
Just put an easier word in there to describe it.
No, he gets it. He gets the word. Jesus Christ, people.
That's all.
All right, 6:09 here on the East Coast. Coming up.
So 9 minutes into the broadcast, and you just dropped the $33 billion. That's the big news. That's the news right there. That's the headline, along with the shelling of Kiev, along with whatever's happening in Ukraine. That's fine. It's connected. But the president stumbling over a word that then he nails? So dumb. We're continually reaching new lows. We hit rock bottom, and then it was like, get the jackhammer! Idiots.
Next, the troubling past of Biden's new disinformation czar. How will she police the internet despite spreading disinformation herself?
And with the first pick in the NFL draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select a linebacker out of Georgia who he credits for getting him to the league. That story next.
Jacksonville's getting even better.
Oh, crap.
I know.
Sorry, I'm going to get a copyright strike for that. Let's see. Somebody says Joe Biden isn't well. Here's another one. Townhall.com. Joe Biden's brain just broke again. Let's see if they actually show.
Take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy and the guys who are the kleptocracies. But these are bad guys that will enhance our underlying effort.
Show the part. Oh my God. Biden disclosed TV. Let's see. This is only 15 seconds. That won't be it. 37 seconds. Let's see.
They're like viewers when they're in the classroom. You've heard me say it many times.
Oh, that's let's see. In context. Here we go. 49 seconds.
But these are bad guys.
Yeah.
This legislative package strengthens our law enforcement capabilities to seize property linked to Russia's kleptocracy.
There you go. Gets it. To seize properties linked to Russia's kleptocracy. It's hard to say. That in the background there. Trust me, from a guy who has a kevtocracy, it's a difficult word. Let's see if anything else happens on Fox and Friends coming up here. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, by the way, the negative economic growth in the first quarter. There's a reason for that, and we'll get into that later. But I want to see them cover that and how it's all Biden's fault. What else we got? What is this?
Ramming a Lexus into another vehicle, then repeatedly bashing the other driver before stealing the van. The victim was treated for a broken eye socket, but he is expected to recover. The suspect, who remained on scene, was arrested and released a short time later. Despite the video showing this brutal attack, the police are still looking for 5 other suspects. The NFL draft underway with the Jags while Redskins dying.
Their lives are changed forever. I love watching them. find out which team they're going to.
Thanks for returning and eyeballing us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate looking at you.
Speaking of look.
Should we check out Hannity? I'm still waiting for them to cover the economic news. That's what I want to see. I want to see how they frame that.
Looking at you. The government is going to start looking at all sorts of stuff. And is this just a coincidence? But the same week it was announced that Elon Musk was buying Twitter.
Timing is interesting.
Right. And Twitter, of course, is notorious for cracking down on points of view.
Again, don't care. Do not care who owns Twitter. If Twitter goes bad, it'll be the MySpace. And we'll all move on and it'll be fine.
To the political right. So the same week he announces that he's going to buy Twitter, apparently now the federal government is announcing they've got a new division of the Department of Homeland Security.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it is. It's called the Disinformation Governance Board. And what they're going to do is they're going to target supposed misinformation on things that are of particular vulnerability to Democrats and Joe Biden, as it turns out. Things like our southern border, as well as monitor Russia for disinformation as the midterms near. But here's the thing. If the government is going to decide what is disinformation, what we've seen the last couple of years is what's disinformation to one person might sometimes turn out to be true in the end.
Isn't it interesting, though, if they can't rely on Twitter now?
Yeah.
To censor information, to censor the...
Well, there are things that are disinformation, that are factually inaccurate. And then there are opinions. So figure out what is fact and what is false. Like ivermectin. How many studies do we need to say ivermectin is bad? How many times do we need to hear that over and over and over again before the people who are pro-ivermectin realize that it's just nonsense? And I'll give you the answer. It doesn't matter. Those idiots are never going to believe it. Ever. I'm not going to take the thing that all the scientists say works. I'm not going to put that in my body, but I'm happy to take an anti-parasitic horse paste and swallow that crap. By the way, they make it for humans as well. They don't have to do the horse paste, but that's what they have been doing. They can't get a prescription for the ivermectin. And then the people with the horses who actually have the worms, they can't get it because it's sold out, because the idiots have bought it. These are not the kind of people to read a study.
Right-leaning opinions. Then
that former guy's prompter's last rally had written X test. Yes, in reference to the dementia test. Right. So the Montreal Cognitive Test was written in as X because they never figured out the name of it and filled it in. So he read it. It's called the X test. That's the guy. Thank you, Marcy. There's so much of it that it just passes all by. You know who got to the teleprompter? It was probably ISIS X.
They're going to have to create their own board in the government. Look at the cover of the New York Post. It says Big Sister, and this is the lady who's...
Is that Michael Jackson?
...who's in charge now, is watching you. It says Biden unveils
Looks like Michael Jackson.
Disinformation board with Hunter denier at its leader. And they say that because she said the dossier was real and the Hunter laptop was not. She's praised Christopher...
Yeah, why appoint her? Why? Why do that?
Steele, the author of this...
By the way, they're saying she said the dossier was real. She could have said that it has some facts in it. I don't know.
Discredited dossier, right? Which falsely linked Trump to Russian...
I mean, just looking at her here, I wouldn't appoint her to anything. Can't be trusted. She's all like, they're going to think I'm Michael Jackson. Look at that face. That's what she's thinking right now.
Interference in the election. She denigrated the New York Post. Those stories...
I wonder if she's the person that Michael was like, I want that. Give me that.
About his laptop, Hunter's laptop. She's criticized free speech and calls free speech people absolutionists when Elon Musk said that he was going to buy Twitter. She said that Trump supporters will show up armed at the polls.
Right.
So many...
Yep, sometimes they do.
Are concerned about why she was chosen to lead this group.
So let me see. You could actually have all the tech, the social media companies do what you say. Like.
Oh, so I guess we'll do movie night tonight. Not really in the mood right now, but I might be later.
Would happen leading up to the 2020 election, or you could put someone in charge of all those social.
I'm hungry for breakfast. Does somebody want to bring me breakfast?
Media companies, because you sense that maybe one of them will not do everything you say, wants to be more of a free speech platform. This is so outrageous. I almost think it's a...
Trump has said, by the way, does anybody know where Trump said? I know he said it in a Wall Street interview, something. Apparently he told Fox News on Sunday or Monday that he would not go back to Twitter. But I want to know, is that in an interview? And after all of his criticism of Piers Morgan, now Piers Morgan's going to be on the Fox Wi-Fi channel or whatever that thing is.
Head fake. I almost think it's something to dissuade the collapse of the border, which didn't...
I want to go to Waffle House. I've never been to a Waffle House.
Stop any of the fireworks yesterday. We'll play some of that. But it is so outrageous. They knew that somebody like this with this track record, not saying she's not bright with a rich resume, I'm just saying her actual work reports and what she's produced is so one-sided. You would think she's probably the least qualified to gain any right-wing support. Jackie Heinrich then asked Jen Psaki, what's with this disinformation office that you guys just formed? Listen to the disinterest or confusion?
There's been some criticism of the person who's been chosen to oversee this board. She had previously called the Hunter Biden laptop a Trump campaign product, seeming to discredit its validity. How can you assuage concerns of people who are looking at this person who's been appointed to this position and wondering if she's going to be able to accurately judge misinformation now that a lot of that reporting has been proven to be...
Deidre says, when I was pregnant with my son, I ate Waffle House every Sunday. Does he waver on decision-making now? Your fault.
Factual in some ways.
Well, I don't have any comments on the laptop, but what I can tell you is that it sounds like the objective of the board is to prevent disinformation. I'm not sure who opposes that effort, and I don't know who this individual is, so I have no comment on it specifically.
Wow.
Okay. Doesn't know the person.
Oh. But the problem is, for instance, what she had said,
it's not the White House that's making this happen, right? This is the DOJ, or this is the Homeland Security. I haven't even looked into it that much because, again, I've been busy fixing toilets. But it's not an executive office thing. It's under the branches of the executive office, but if it's DOJ, it's hands off. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that more. But yeah, they do have. Well, you know what? No matter whom they choose for whatever job, it's going to be criticized.
Big sister who's going to be running it, the stuff she
okay, it's DHS, so it's under their purview, but okay.
Said was true turned out not to be true. So here's the thing. Why are they doing it right now? Think about it. We've got the midterms coming up. And
okay. Yeah, let's think about this. Right, we've got the midterms several months from now. Okay. Nobody is going to vote because some lady's in charge of a disinformation office. No one is going to vote on that. We have so many bigger issues, which you've yet to cover.
It has become very clear that the Department of...
We're now 20 minutes into the broadcast, and you haven't mentioned the news of the day.
Homeland Security, which apparently it's going to be a division of, doesn't really know anything about...
Okay, Homeland Security.
About it. It looks like, and I don't know, I'm sitting on the couch drinking coffee, but it looks like this was probably created by somebody at the White House in the political unit to go after information that is unflattering to Democrats and to Joe Biden in the run-up to...
Hey, if anyone's watching from the White House, get me on that board. I mean, I don't care. That's the beauty of it. My apathy, well, either side. I'm critical of both sides. It just so happens that the right side is so much easier to criticize. Like, hey, yay for Elon Musk and free speech. Everyone should have free speech unless they work for Disney.
To their elections. And so they've dumped this on the Department of Homeland Security because it's protecting the security of the homeland. But really, it's just protecting Democrats.
So how will it work? Let's say
That's how the Homeland Security Department works. They protect the security of...
There's the Hunter Biden story.
That point,
what would they do to that story?
It is very vague about how they would actually handle it.
Right. It's just very bizarre that...
Because we don't know and because it already happened, and so that's all hypothetical. So that would be vague. Yes, that is correct. Oh, judges are here.
They're getting involved in this
No
because they
kidding.
see that Twitter's going in a direction they don't like. So
what direction is that?
Josh Hawley, Senator Josh Hawley, said it was a disgrace. He said, rather than protecting our borders or the American homeland, you've chosen to make policing American speech your priority.
Like, for example, if you thought that
They can't. They literally can't police American speech.
Virus came from a lab.
Actually, maybe the executive branch can. Maybe they can, because the Constitution just says Congress shall pass. No. Yeah. It is, right? First Amendment. It says Congress, right? Hold on. First Amendment shall not be infringed. First Amendment... Is it Congress only? Is it legislatures in... Okay, First Amendment, founding faith, blah, founding faith. Come on, really? That's the first result? Oh, it's an ad. That's why. Okay. These are ads. These are the ads. Here's the First Amendment, Library of Congress. Let's look at that. Congress shall make no law, so the executive branch can do whatever the fuck they want. It's a very loose interpretation of the Constitution. But the judiciary and the executive branch are very clearly stipulated in different articles in the Constitution. So if the president wants to say you can't say that, he can do that. That is something that should be fixed, by the way. Because as you can see, sometimes we get a president that has a little too much power, like that Biden guy. Because he's a kleptomaniac.
I guess you should be arrested because early on, if you did that, your account was frozen and suspended in most social media accounts. And then what turns out is
there's no indication that everyone's going to be unfrozen. Hey, let's bring all the bots back.
It is that you would have been let out of jail, I assume, by this new system. I can't wait to be part of a country that has a disinformation office.
By the way, my account on Twitter is currently frozen. I can't post anything else new, and I've appealed, and this is months now. And I stopped the appeal and launched a new appeal, and they're going to get to it as soon as possible. Still haven't. It's been months. Can you fix that, Elon? Actually, I know people who know Elon. I should see if they can get in touch with him. I haven't met Elon myself.
Congressman Jim Jordan heard about this the day before and had this question on this topic for Mr. Mayorkas.
When the head of the CDC, Ms. Walensky...
Oh, good. You know what we should do is we should just watch this hearing, because this is just going to be a whole lot of nuts.
...said that the vaccinated can't get the virus. Did that undermine trust in government? Dr. Fauci...
At that point, that was true, yes.
When he said the virus didn't come from a lab, did that undermine trust in government? How about...
Yeah, we don't know that it came from the lab. We do not know that.
When 51 former intel officials told us that the Hunter Biden story had all the earmarks of Russian misinformation, will that be something that this governing...
Yeah, we still really haven't established.
...board that you just formed, will you be looking into that?
Congressman, the Disinformation Board addresses disinformation that imperils the safety and security of our homeland. And
yeah, so that would have nothing to do with Hunter.
One of the primary areas that we are focused on is the dissemination of disinformation and its potential.
Okay.
Okay, what about, what else did he say? It's a good answer.
Virus, I would think.
Okay, Charles Payne will discuss the economy. He's their Fox Business News guy. So let's, you know what? Don't vote for Biden. Hold on. Because this is what Tucker says about the DHS. Let's see if that works. Here we go.
So here you have this new and terrifying thing that the Biden administration is so concerned about.
Terrified.
That has created a new agency to fight it. But Mayorkas never said or even hinted.
By the way, terrible idea. It's not going to change anything. This country is way too provided. This is exactly what Putin wanted, and he's won. Putin has won. He has waged cyber and information war on America, and the Republicans are his victory. That's where we are.
As to what it might be. So the man in charge of the disinformation...
Terrified. They accuse us of being snowflakes, but they're terrified of this department that nobody's going to pay any attention to.
Information Governing Board never defined disinformation. Would you sentence someone to death for a crime you couldn't describe? Of course.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to sentence people to death, Tucker.
You wouldn't, not if you were a sane and decent person. Because you can't have justice without precise definitions. But they're not defining the core concept at the heart of what is effectively a new law enforcement agency. Maybe that's because Mayorkas doesn't want justice, and neither does the president he serves.
Maybe, but no, that's not the case.
They want power, and to get power, they plan to control what you think.
I see. So the guy who you say can't keep it together long enough to say kleptocracy, he's somehow masterminded all of this in order to put people to death. That's what you're saying here.
A lot of people are confused by this. It makes me wonder, did Mayorkas even know about it? Did Jen Psaki, did she get briefed on it, or is she reluctant?
Probably not.
To even talk about it? I've never seen her. I don't know who this woman is. Wow. How do you go out there, announce this department, and not know who this woman is?
Well, the New York Post, one of their lead editorials this morning, the final line is, why does the administration even need another disinformation czar when it already has Jen Psaki?
Right. All right, 25 minutes after the hour.
Coming up, Congressman Brian Mast of Florida.
I don't know if that's supposed to be a knock on the administration, but yeah, Jen Psaki actually does a really good job of disarming the right, despite what they keep showing from his kid every single day. Looks like Peter Doocy maybe had the day off yesterday. Here's something else about Mayorkas. Let's see what they have to say right here.
Everywhere. That's where a lot of people go.
Are you talking about people party or arty?
I just knocked off the...
All right. Meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about something you may have seen in yesterday on the channel, and that was DHS Secretary Mayorkas.
It's going to be the same thing. Where's Charles Payne? I want to see Charles Payne. Oh, hold on. This is about Disney. This is about Disney and what the new law does with Disneyland or Disney World is it takes away their tax exempt, or they basically have their own tax district. But people who are looking at the law saying, okay, well, this means that the two counties that surround the exemption area, it's not exemption area, that's the wrong word for it, but the district, the tax district, they're going to have to take care of those taxes. So the burden of $100 and some billion zillions dollars in taxes is going to fall on the people who live there. They're going to be paying for the roads at Disney World. If you've ever been to Disney World, the place is huge. It's got to be at least a square mile. Disneyland is like this little parking lot in Anaheim. It's an orange grove. Disney World was miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of swamp that they developed. Someone's going to have to pay for that. And what they're doing is illegal. And all of it in retaliation for some Disney employees who practice what? Their First Amendment right.
Duck, pick a favorite.
Yeah, so we're talking about the parental rights bill. Remember, it was a month or two ago.
Oh, let's go back a little bit so we get to the beginning of this story.
Where's the disinformation board? Why don't they say, no, it's not racist?
Right, that would be great. They just got there.
Because they probably feel it is racist.
I'm sure they do. So that was happening yesterday during the day. Last night, if you stayed up to watch Laura Ingraham, you saw her amazing town hall. She interviewed different people that work at Disney, and they're saying they're fed up. Her town hall was down in Florida. She talked to Ron DeSantis. She also talked to a lot of these Disney employees, and they said they are fed up with the company. Listen.
Okay. And they have this free speech right to do that. They have the free speech right not to work there anymore. Disney has the free speech right to fire them.
So many people to dream job.
What's the First Amendment? We just looked at it. Congress shall pass no law. Yeah, because guess who Congress is? The Florida Congress. The First Amendment has been extended by the Supreme Court multiple times onto state Congresses as well. And most of the state constitutions have something like the First Amendment in them.
We thought it was a great job. I've loved my job for 18 years. Emmy loves her job. And a lot of us cast members, and we've just been caught by surprise. And recently, I had a manager reach out to me that in a managerial meeting, they were talking about...
A what meeting?
Fighting against the parental rights bill and encouraging all the managers. So it's really surprising to a lot of people. And she's like, why would you even bring this up?
I just hate the fact that Disney has taken sides. I just wish Disney would just focus on children and families and
not focus on the bill that affects children and families?
Entertaining them and making them happy and having a magical time instead of just taking sides. Our locations are divisible. Sometimes it's
But the Florida legislature taking sides. That's cool. That's all right.
difficult to even go to work because there's two sides. There's
Really? It's hard to go to work? Is that all you guys talk about at work at Disney World?
animosity, there's a tax.
Sure, and what they're talking about with the parental rights.
Tax. A tax. Haven't heard anything about the attacks, but there's a tax.
I know.
You know who's paying that tax? The two surrounding counties. That's who.
Not only.
By the way, the bill doesn't go into effect for another year, and unlikely to actually see fruition. It will be repealed, or it will be struck down by the Florida courts, or will be struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. It'll be struck down at some point. It's just absolute political retaliation, and it's not going to be allowed.
Living in a divided
Corporations are people. We've established this already, people.
nation. Now you have to go
I mean corporations.
to work in
Gotta
one.
pick Mickey or Donald Duck. Pick a favorite.
Yeah, so we're talking about the parental rights bill. Remember, it was a month or two ago that the state legislature down in Florida passed that, which said that if you are in kindergarten through third grade, your school can't teach you about sex education and gender identity and stuff like that, and Ron DeSantis signed it. After that, then, Disney came out.
That was a picture of a bill signing from May of 2021. I'm not sure why they're using that.
And said we're going to do everything we can to undo that. And that's why Ron DeSantis and others in the legislature voted to end that sweep.
Okay, name that character. She's redhead. She's on a horse. Is that Tangled? See, once my kids grew up, I haven't really watched a Disney movie. We don't talk about Bruno.
Deal that Disney got.
Who's that? Somebody with kids. Tell me who that is in the wig.
Where they essentially ran their own state, the state of Disney. This
I don't know who that is either.
Reedy Creek development area.
I know them. Is that Jasmine maybe from Aladdin? I'd have to see the float. Brave? Is it from Brave? Thank you, Marcy.
Right now, the story that's floating out there that a lot of people down in Florida are talking about is, you know what, if they end that, those people in Florida are...
Now, if that was me at the Disney parade and I was holding that camera, this would be the footage. And then the float would go right by. Be the entire time.
Those two counties, Orange and Osceola, they're going to be stuck with billions of dollars worth of tax debt. Ron DeSantis has made it very clear they won't be.
Do you guys know which castle is in which location? There's two castles. One is at Disneyland, one is at Disney World, and they belong to two different Disney princesses.
He was on with Laura, as you saw a moment ago, and here's where they stand right now in Florida versus Disney.
You want to bet that they will not move it out of Florida? I would be willing to bet a lot of money. And, you know, it probably cost $500 billion to do that. So it just simply ends with them being treated the same as every other company in Florida. They're going to follow laws. They're not going to...
Yeah, but which castle is in which location?
Have their own government. They're going to pay their debts, pay their taxes, and it's fine. But I am not comfortable having one company with their own government and special privileges when that company has pledged itself.
And he was just fine with it for, I don't know, 45 years or however old the guy is.
To attacking the parents.
Sleeping Beauty's in Anaheim, that is correct. And you can actually go up into the castle in Anaheim and look at pictures of Sleeping Beauty. You used to have to use like a B ticket. Back when Disneyland had A through E tickets and Space Mountain was an E ticket and A was, maybe it was an A ticket. Somebody knows. Somebody will look that up. But you used to have to use one of your tickets to wander through Sleeping Beauty Castle. And as a kid, it would be like, well, we got all these A tickets left. So you go, like, sit on the lazy river, which isn't even a thing. Or what can we do with this A ticket? Well, we can go see Sleeping Beauty's Castle. Sleeping Beauty's Castle? Oh, my God, I want to see a dragon fight. It's just pictures.
It's in my state. It's wrong. Walt Disney would not want that. And so get back to the mission. Do what you did.
Mr. Toad was an A? That was the ride then. That would have been the one that I used all the A tickets on because Mr. Toad was pretty good.
Great. That's why people...
More jerking around, the better. Speaking of jerking around, nobody went up in Sleeping Beauty's castle. So if you needed to, you know, Todd knows that.
People love the company, and you've lost your way. Maybe this will be
standing ovation. Government is going to crack down on political speech and free speech in Florida.
the wake-up call that they need to get back on track.
So we'll see what the company decides to do. I mean, maybe there's going to be negotiations. It doesn't really take place till June of 2023, right?
Right.
So Governor DeSantis also said,
so it's more than a year away. I stand corrected.
If the president sends a...
But good luck telling your kids, oh, that summer vacation we were going to have at Disney World after 2 years of not going anywhere because of COVIDs, it's not happening. Sorry. Yeah, no, they said that we couldn't, you know what, I don't even know. But we're not going. Sorry, kids. They're evil.
Caravan or planes to Florida. He's sending...
Where's Wonderland? Is that in Toronto, Cujo?
Them right back to Delaware.
Yeah. I think it was in Politico, Brian and Ainsley, I read yesterday that behind the scenes, they're trying to figure out how to fix this Disney versus DeSantis thing. And apparently Disney's, you know, they're not putting out...
You know, so I know peoples. I know women. I know women. What's up? There are people that love Disneyland, and they're in their, let's say, 40s and 50s, and there are people that hate Disneyland. I don't know which is better. Like, if you were to date one or the other, which is better? Now, if people are like, oh, sure, let's go to Disneyland. Let's go Magic Mountain. Let's go on a roller coaster, whatever. Maybe somebody's like, no, roller coasters make me sick. That's fine. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't enter into the equation. Those people, just people. But there are people that love it. Like, oh my God, I have to take a picture with Minnie. Minnie is my favorite. I've got a Minnie shirt. I've got a Minnie bra. I've got a Minnie ring. I've got a Minnie, like, not overtly Disney. Not everybody in her life, but maybe at her desk at work, she has a little Minnie Mouse bobblehead or something, right? But just loves, has this soft spot. She went there with her parents, and she loved Disneyland growing up, and she's all about Disneyland. And then you've got people that just hate Disneyland. Maybe they went there too often as a kid, or maybe they had some bad experience in there, or maybe they just don't like Disney. Like, which one is the better mate? It's a valid question. I'll let you guys ponder that.
Any public statements?
Just north of Toronto. I want to say that I went to Wonderland near Toronto. I know I went to the Ontario National Exhibition. Is it the ONE1? Is this like the state fair, but in Ontario? I went there, I know for sure. And I want to say we went to Wonderland, or maybe they passed some law against gays or something. I don't remember exactly.
They don't want to anger the governor, but the lobbyists and their lawyers...
Been to Great America.
...are working with the state to figure out a solution to this.
Well,
so stay tuned.
The business just never should have gotten into politics.
Right, exactly.
Just to entertain our kids.
By the way, I worked at Disneyland for a couple of years, 3 years in college.
Let us have fun there as a family, because everyone there has different opinions. And Florida's just saying, as parents, we own these parents. I mean, we own these.
Yeah, everyone there has different opinions, and that's okay.
Children, they're ours. We birthed them. We raised them. We have the right to talk to them about what we want to.
Which, she owns those kids? What?
Right, exactly.
Just to entertain our kids. Let us
That's
have
it.
fun there as a family, because everyone there has different opinions. And Florida's just saying, as parents, we own these parents. I mean, we own these children. They're ours.
Do you own your children? Are children a possession? That's a weird way to say it. I've never ever heard somebody say that they own their children. I mean, you can own a pet. That's a thing. I don't know that anyone can own a child. Is that what, do people say that? I've just never heard it.
We birthed them. We raised them. We have the right to talk to them about what we want to talk to them. It's not up to the teachers.
Right. And remember, the corporations really got involved in Georgia, and they left, and the All-Star game left. They really got involved in North Carolina, remember the bathroom rule? And then all these games got canceled, all these events got canceled. And hopefully this is a big stop sign where the corporations now have a green light to tell their shareholders it doesn't make corporate sense for us to take a position because it's not good for our company. Now they can have a business way out of this.
Right. I was listening to the Clay Travis Buck Sexton show yesterday late in the afternoon, and Clay apparently taking his children to Orlando for the weekend, And he said he's going to do this with them, do that with them, take the kids to
SeaWorld is there, and there's like Circus World used to be there. I don't know if Circus World still even exists, but that was in Florida when we were kids.
or to Universal. Did not mention Disney. A lot of people are rethinking it. It's like they got two gigantic theme parks there, Universal or Disney. Where am
Yeah, Universal, of course, is right there.
I going to go?
Don't forget SeaWorld. Dolphins can
SeaWorld, absolutely.
The Dolphins can keep a ball in the air. I think they can keep bouncing it.
Well,
off
and
there.
Shamu.
Right.
Shamu's there.
A lot of people not going to SeaWorld anymore, by the way.
Shamu's allowed to be there?
There was, what was that movie? There was some like Black Ocean or something like that. Movie about killer whales and how they shouldn't be captive, and yeah.
Did they let the killer whales out?
I've been to SeaWorld in 20, 30 years. But I don't know. I don't remember if I ever took my kids to SeaWorld. I may have when they were very, very little. Very little.
Off?
No, they're still
all the
there.
killer whales are gone.
Yeah, my daughter. Yeah, we were just there. They're.
Blackwater. That's what it was. Thank you, Chris.
Did they do anything?
Yeah, they come up.
It's a killer whale.
One of the judges just woke up.
What do you need it to
They
do?
flash you if you sit on the front row or the second row.
Oh,
They perform for you.
I thought they changed
The first 6 rows.
formats.
Did you watch that documentary on them? It's
There
extremely
we go.
sad.
Right.
Yeah.
But they do take care of them very well in the animal
They do take care of the prisoners very well. They own those animals.
activists and
They're the owners.
rights groups
Yeah.
are very involved.
Well, SeaWorld is a great place if you want to go out and rollick with your family.
It's frolicking and frolicking.
Carly, you were on the other side of
Chris,
this
stay
wall
out of
back
this.
here, and I heard you cackling when he said that.
But Brian, you were right. I knew what you meant.
I knew it.
Right.
I knew you were just
Oh, he must have said rollick instead of frolic earlier. I don't know.
you were just one letter off.
Right.
That's a 95%.
Cross between fraud.
Okay, but let's play that clip about Biden not being able to say kleptocracy properly and then getting it right. Oh, no, we won't play the part where he gets it right. But as long as rollicking is happening on the couch, then we're good. That's okay. That doesn't mean that he's lost his brain. That he put it neutral. What did he say? What did they say? I think he said it earlier about what's happening to Biden's brain, blew his brain or whatever. But that's okay. Go ahead and say rollick. And again, I don't know what happened. I didn't see it. Okay, so there's General Keane. Oh, good. Brian is going to do the analysis of what's happening in Ukraine, and he's standing in front of a map. Let's see this.
Down the Ukrainian forces so the Russians can achieve a significant penetration. They have not been able to do that, Brian.
Right.
It's a good point. At Radham says one out of 6 letters is not 95%.
They made modest gains, but no serious penetration yet. And that is why
like my boyfriend. What's up?
these packages of art.
We're taking it slowly. You know, nobody's in a rush. I'm a little unsure about him because he hates Disneyland. And I don't know. I mean,
Artillery kills artillery. Air power kills artillery, and they're going to use drones to do some of that. And
sea power can kill artillery. Sure. Yeah.
some of their own air power, which really has not been very effective against the Russians because they have local air defense systems. So that's the fight that's going on. It'll probably take weeks to unfold.
Right. So,
by the way, Keane was on the other day. I saw him on a program. This is General Keane. I think this is General Keane. I could be wrong. But yeah, Jack Keane. There it is at the bottom. He was on the other day and actually saying like Biden was doing the right thing. And they changed topics really quickly.
General, the other thing is, how do you stop the Moscow war machine? Well, sanctions. Number 2 is you got to stop oil and gas. But it turns out, according to today's Wall Street Journal, China's beginning to buy less Russian oil because of the
fewer Russian oil
war, and is starting to buy it from Iran. Don't love that, but I love the fact that they're doing it. Also,
still bad, but okay.
Reports that Germany is making massive gains in getting off Russian oil.
Massive strides, not gains.
Oil and gas, and with taking it away from Poland and Bulgaria,
he's 95% right.
Our allies are quickly looking to supplement them. It's coming to spring. This, to me, is a terrible play by Vladimir Putin. Finally, Europe is getting the message, and they're moving away from oil and gas that they were trying to deny them.
And they're doing that under Biden. They wouldn't do that under Trump. They didn't listen to Trump, remember? Trump's like, I can't have a pipeline. No one's ever heard of oil before I started talking about Russian oil. And they wouldn't do it. And suddenly now all these countries want to join NATO. Suddenly now Denmark is paying the 2% suggested military budget under Biden. And that didn't happen under Trump. Remember, Trump saw like, I made NATO so strong, so very strong. I told him I wouldn't defend you.
Correct?
Oh, yeah, this is a very real significant move that's taken place with the Germans. They think within about a week they will be off of Russian oil.
What? Natural gas? I have not heard that. If that is true, that is incredible. But they get some of their natural gas from the Netherlands. They get some of their natural gas from other sources. It's possible, but tighten your belts, Germany. Again, it's mostly heating oil that they use. So if spring is coming, it's winter for Poland and France, I can tell you that.
Which is absolutely
Amazing.
staggering. Remember, the money that the Russians make is all oil and gas, and primarily 70% of
well, 50% of the money they make, yeah.
their export income is oil.
Yes.
So this is very significant. I mean, it is as significant as the Germans giving them heavy weapon systems.
Right, and they're not doing it because Trump said that 6 years ago. Biden's in charge right now. Remember?
In terms of actually impacting their ability to fuel the war is significant. The Europeans, begrudgingly, I think, in the beginning, but now are on board and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, they see the brutality, the barbarity, and they know it could be them next. Whatever the reason is, they're finally doing everything we've been asking them to do since the 1950s. General Jack Keane, thanks so much.
Yeah, great talking.
Right. And it wasn't because of Trump.
Brian, have a great, wonderful weekend.
You too.
By the way, no one had ever heard of Russian oil before Trump, but we've been asking them to do this since the 1950s. Okay? But Trump invented that back in the 1950s.
And very educational. Meanwhile, on One Nation, which I hope you're going to watch on Saturday night at 8 o'clock, repeated again at 11, amongst our guests, the Swedish ambassador to the U.S. is going to be with us, talking about the chances of joining NATO as
which didn't happen under Trump.
Early as June. Karl Rove is going to be live. Douglas Murray, Rick Wolf on the violence in youth sports. It's spreading like we've never seen before. He'll be joining us along with Scott Wells, former NFL.
Okay. Okay, and oh, here we go. We're going to Charles Payne. Finally going to talk about the economy. Okay, and they're probably not going to mention the actual reason for the minor contraction. But let's talk about this. It's weird. The way that they calculate the GDP is weird. Because what you would think would be like, well, that sounds good. It actually hurts. But let's watch.
There's enormous growth in the country that was affected by everything from COVID and the COVID blockages that occurred along the way.
Well, President Biden reigniting his blame game, this time blaming the country's shrinking GDP on technical factors, on Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, he's correct. Let's see what he said. Well, last quarter's growth estimate was affected by technical factors. The United States confronts the challenge. And by the way, it'll be amended. They are always revised. We don't know what the actual GDP was until about 2 or 3 months later. These are all preliminary figures, but we go by them, and nobody ever looks back and says, oh, look at that. 600,000 jobs we criticized Biden not creating were actually created. They just hadn't been put into the system yet. Same thing with this. This will be revised. Mark my words, or don't. Doesn't matter.
On COVID and on global inflation.
Unexpected guess, my car had a flat tire. It wouldn't start. But even the GDP is down 1.4% for the first time since the pandemic. Biden insists the
Okay, why would your car not start if it had a flat tire?
economy is still resilient.
Here with reaction is the host of Making Money on Fox Business, Charles. Charles, yesterday a bad number. If we get another quarter of that, it will officially, negative growth will officially be in a recession. Today at 8:30,
which is why the numbers are so wacky.
Personal consumption number comes out. Right now, it doesn't look good for the administration.
No, it looks absolutely awful. You know what's ironic?
It doesn't.
About
the stock market jumped a bunch yesterday. If the economy looked like we were going into recession, the stock market would not jump. The economists know what this is. Let's see if Charles Payne will admit the technical factors that we're talking about.
President Biden blaming COVID and those things. That's how he pumped up the GDP last year. They printed so much money. You can't brag about the GDP being through the roof when you printed up trillions of dollars and then use the same excuse when it goes south, right? He wants to use the same.
It's not using that excuse, and that's not why the economy was booming. We were coming out of COVID.
It's so amazing, but you can see he was struggling there, and the reason he's struggling.
Allison says tires and engines are different. She's correct. Judges agree.
This was bad. This was really bad news. You cannot say this isn't bad news. A lot of folks, obviously, you can see the.
Well, okay, but everybody in the stock market said it's not bad news. Okay? Consumers say it's not bad news. Businesses are saying it's not bad news.
White House must have called the financial media. A lot of folks covered for the White House yesterday.
What do you mean?
You know, listen, it's not, if we strip out this.
Really? The White House is calling the economists on the TVs, even on Fox Business Network? That's what they're doing? That's what, they're just going to lie?
And if we strip out that everybody was singing from the same hymn sheet.
Right, because everyone was singing from the same hymn sheet. Not a street. There's no hymn streets. Well, yeah, in some areas there's hymn streets and her streets, but we're trying to just make them all day streets.
But the irony, of course, is the things they wanted us to strip out, we celebrated in the fourth quarter. Inventories were 90%.
Yes. Yes. That's not irony. That's the technical issue. I'll tell you about it in a second. I want to see if he actually gets into it.
Of that amazing fourth quarter GDP.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, we had an amazing fourth quarter GDP. That is correct. Woo! USA!
Guess what? We probably have too much inventory now, and it hurt us in the first quarter.
What does this mean for the average family, for the people watching? They hear that the GDP shrank 1.4%. What does that mean for the family?
Nothing. It means nothing to the average family. If they have money, they spend it. That's how it works when you're the average family in the United States. If things cost more, it's hard. But if you didn't have a job and now you do have a job, it's better. Much, much better.
It's a report card. It's a report card, and it just sort of reflects what the average family knows.
But it's like getting a report card halfway through when they haven't actually marked any of the exams you've done.
This, so many.
Okay, here's what's going on. Consumer spending, looking good. More than 2%. Business spending, more than, oh, by the way, the consumer spending that they do, it's after inflation. So even accounting for inflation, consumer spending up more than 2%. That's fantastic, especially considering the inflationary pressure. That's amazing. Those are fantastic numbers. Business spending, more than 9%. That's a very solid economy. And that is why Wall Street are like, okay, here we go. Solid, super solid economy. We're going to dive up. Let's see what Dow Jones did by the end of yesterday. I just looked at it about halfway through the day. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Today, it's crashing, 517. Yesterday, jumps on the Musk move. Okay, so stocks off lows as Apple rises. Okay, so Apple is killing the tech sector. They're doing really well, but they passed all these new privacy rules, but I don't want to get into that right now. Okay, that's from 35 minutes ago. Let's look at the news from yesterday. That was 3 days ago. So the Dow keeps going up and down in big numbers, and that's what happens. But after the announcement of the 1.8, let's see, 3 weeks. Why can't it just give me yesterday? It was up hundreds. I don't even know. Market Watch, tell me. Okay, it's down 520 right now. And yesterday, Thursday. Okay, so yesterday, Thursday, it started at 300. It ended up peaking at about. At one point it was up 700. It ended up about 500 points. Almost 500 points yesterday. Okay, so pretty good day yesterday. Now it's down 500 points, and we're back down to where we started yesterday. It'll probably rebound back up. If it goes down 800 points today, buy, because it'll jump back up again. This is the 5-day performance. Here, I'll drag it over for you. This is what's happening right now in the stock market. That's 5 days. Up and down and up and down and up. And 500-point swings. Okay? That's what's going on. But yesterday, after this announcement, Dow went up. At one point, it was up 800 points, 700 points, 700 points. That's a good day.
So many.
Oh, here. Let me explain what's going on. Now, what happens is when you import a bunch of stuff, that counts against your gross domestic product. It really shouldn't, because that means that companies are buying a bunch of product because they're confident about the future and they're spending money. Now, you want them to buy local products, yes. But again, we're still recovering from the pandemic. It's hard to find workers. For some reason, the Republicans are blocking all the workers who should be coming into the country and helping us out. We need 11 million more people in this country to fill all the jobs. There is a retirement boom en masse. People are coming out of COVID and realizing, you know what, I really liked being at home. We can get by without both parents working. There are a lot of people who say, you know what, my mom now needs help, assistance. I am going to, rather than pay for her to be in a nursing home, I'm going to take care of her and leave the workforce. This is happening far more with females than with males. But these are the factors that are pressuring right now. And of course, a whole bunch of people in the retail and the travel and leisure industry are like, no, I'm not going to be public facing right now until we get this COVID thing handled. So all of those pressures are happening at the same time. We, what was the total from yesterday? We were to the 1 point whatever negative growth. But the trade surplus going out of the United States, it's a deficit. The imports coming into the United States, which is how imports work, that affected negatively the GDP numbers by 2.4%, if I'm remembering correctly from yesterday. 2.4%. Take that out of the equation, it's a pretty good GDP. But that's the way it works. That's a technicality. And that's what Biden was talking about. And that's what everybody was talking about, which is why the stock market took off yesterday. That, oh yeah, you know what, this will be adjusted anyway because American factories don't report until later and imports have to be tagged immediately because they're coming into the country and Customs and Border Patrol sees every single one of them, and since it's the government, they track it in real time. But American-made products are not tracked in real time because the government isn't sitting at the factories going, okay, that's 500 units. Yep, that's worth this. They're not doing that. The companies have to report that separately, and it takes time. But when things come in at the borders, in the ports, they are recorded. So that's what's going on, and that's what everybody else knows. But Charles Payne is saying that, oh no, the White House paid everybody. They made everybody else say that. No, there's a reason that all the other economists are saying that kleptocracy.
These economic reports, people watching the shows like, duh, yeah, we knew that already. One of these Wall Street economists should come to my house. It's a report card. It's savings, for instance.
Okay, so down, it affected it. So we would have had 1% positive growth, which is not super, but it's certainly better than it used to be.
Went down from over 7% to just 6.5%. You know, there's certain economic reports. People watching the shows like, duh, yeah, we knew that already. One of these Wall Street economists should come to my house. It's a report card. It's savings, for instance, went down from over 7% to just 6.5%.
Okay. People are spending that money. They want to spend it now because they think inflation is going to go on long term, and it's better to spend the money now because you lose money on your savings if inflation goes up.
You know, there's certain parts of this that are extraordinarily worrisome, and so people already know that. Add on the fact that
okay, but what's the overall? What are all the economists saying, and you're not? Let's see if he gets to it.
The real wages are down. Real disposable income it's negative. This is negative stuff, and we're in trouble.
But here's the thing:
we're in trouble. Is his takeaway? Everybody else, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everybody on Wall Street, hey, let's buy, baby. Let's take those profits now. Charles Payne, this is very worrisome. Could be anything can happen with the economy. Remember, there were very few people that saw what happening in 2008. 2007, really.
Experts like you have said that to get the inflation down, you got to raise interest rates. Despite this number, they're going to raise interest rates again.
They might, But yes, despite this number, because this is a blip in the radar.
Correct.
They have to raise interest rates. Oh, by the way, yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of transitory.
Right.
1 year ago yesterday, the Fed told us it was transitory.
At what point?
Yeah, and it still will be. Transitory doesn't have to be defined within a particular area of time. Hold on a second. Oh, that's not for me.
Does it become permanent?
I don't know.
Is that after the election?
Better not be.
You know, you got to have a wide interpretation of transitory. But here's the thing.
No, the inflation will never be permanent.
The Fed, they're going to.
I mean, I suppose so. But, like, how do you until you die? Is that how you define permanent? At some point, we'll have another recession. That's the way economies work.
Raise rates next week, maybe 50 basis points, and maybe again after that. They're in a delicate situation. I mean, a very delicate situation. And the reason the market's been under some pressure is if you read between the lines, the Fed is saying, yeah, we're going to have to go so hard that the economy won't soft land. It's going to be a hard landing.
The worry is it's going to be a half a point.
Except they're not saying that. But he's reading between the lines. And all the other economists are wrong.
They want less. That's why the market rallied yesterday.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff you pick up on Making Money. 2 p.m. Eastern over on Fox Business. Charles, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Don't bother.
Thanks.
Brian, what's coming up?
Okay, I'll read it. Coming
You
up.
didn't contribute to this segment, so I wanted to
I
give you
apologize. I'm going to talk to him in the break. Coming up, a New York City man is free despite the violent attack on the helpless driver. Ruther Rivera reacts to the lack of law and order in the Big Apple.
But first, horrifying new details emerge in the murder of that 10-year-old little girl.
Oh, God. No, thank you. If you guys want to know more about that, you certainly can look it up yourself. Okay, the Government Disinformation Board that doesn't exist yet. Or maybe it does. I don't even know. Oh, okay. What's going on here? I saw a little... Oh, they're broadcasting the rallies again, I guess, on the Fox. I just saw a little thing.
Ads receiving the first pick. Watch this.
No, that's the NFL draft. Really unhappy with the way that the YouTube TV interface is happening right now, especially on my phone. Like I am this close to canceling and move over to Hulu TV because YouTube TV is absolute crap on my phone. When it goes to commercials, especially ones that YouTube TV superimposes over the commercials in the regular feed, I can fast forward usually through the commercials. The reason that I watch later, not in real time, is so that I don't have to watch all the commercials. Remember, the commercials pay for the programming, but I am paying for the programming. So I don't have to watch the commercials unless I'm watching live. So I watch it delayed, I go to fast forward through the commercials. And the app has a way that you can just fast forward, tap, 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 tap. I fast forward through 4 minutes, we're back in the news, right? No, not anymore. Now it just jumps me back to the beginning, goes to the end. Even if I don't touch it, it'll jump around sometimes. It's absolutely horrible. YouTube TV, if you're watching, you're going to lose me. I am going to stop using my friend's password.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm kidding. But
select Trayvon.
I'm not going to stop using their password. No. Let's see if anything else happens here. Did I just see a picture of me? I might have just somewhere. I think one of my ads. I just saw one of my ads. I think I just saw my face on the TVs. Let's just. I just want to see what happened on Hannity last night because I enjoy stopping me in Hannity. Let's go to Hannity. If anybody else wants to discuss something, we can do that. Any suggestions for the movie tonight? I got a list now of movies that I want to see, so we'll talk about that later. Okay, and start from beginning. Let's see if this
best night with the ones you love. We'll see you tomorrow.
Is a Fox News alert? Is it going to be about Afghanistan? Because that's relevant.
Welcome to Hannity tonight. Bad news. Our economy is officially shrinking. We are now months away from a looming recession.
Are we, though? Somebody capture this and hold on to it, please.
Inflation, 41-year high, worse than ever. The crisis...
3 months away, officially, from a looming recession. 3 months. If we get 2 quarters, and a quarter's 3 months long, of economic downturn, that's officially recession. It'll be interesting to see if these numbers are adjusted upwards so that it's not negative, and then the second quarter ends up being negative, if Fox still calls it a recession.
At our southern border, totally, completely, utterly out of control. And take a look at this tense exchange between Congressman Chip Roy and DHS Secretary Mayorkas. And by the way, Mayorkas should be impeached. We'll explain.
How about the lost voices for people dying from fentanyl? The hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of Americans dying from fentanyl. Faces of Americans across this country dying because of fentanyl pouring into our country.
And then Mayorkas repulsively says, oh, we inherited the worst border. No, you inherited the best border. Now, unfortunately, that is only one exchange. We'll show the entire exchange coming up. Sadly, tonight, the White House, they don't really care about the border, the economy, record high gas prices. It's killing the poor and the middle class in this country, inflation out of control. Instead, they are preoccupied with something much more important to them. Department of Homeland Security, founded after 9/11 to combat terrorism. Remember, terrorism, nothing else. That's why we have the Department.
No. The Department of Homeland Security was created so that 17 different departments would be under one head department so that we wouldn't be surprised by terrorism anymore. But they're responsible for all of that, not just terrorism.
Of Homeland Security. They're now turning their...
I mean, they're responsible for the border. You spend half your time talking about the border, and you don't even know who's in charge.
Sites on law-abiding Americans. They got this creepy new Ministry of Truth combating what the Biden administration is calling the dangerous threat of disinformation. In other words, opinions that they disagree with. By the way, disinformation mean like the Russian...
Oh, let's see what it says about the kleptocracy. Okay, so here we go. Mounting concerns surround Biden. By the way, these concerns have been mounting since Biden took office, since before Biden took office. Mounting concerns surround Biden's stamina, stability, and cognitive fitness. We better give him the X test.
Conversation, and it's about the President of the United States, Joe Biden. Watch this.
I'm also sending to Congress a comprehensive package that will enhance our underlying effort to accommodate the Russian oligarchs and make sure we take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin.
Yeah, he's laughing that he read the wrong word. Yep. And then he puts it in his own words on the fly, as opposed to Trump. Most of the time when he says in other words, I have a beautiful big house. In other words, I have a big house and it's beautiful. Those are the same words. That's what Trump does. So on the fly, Biden uses his own words and somehow cognitively dissonant.
Kleptocracy, kleptocracy, and the guys who are the kleptocracies. But these are bad guys. Also sending to Congress.
Okay, and they just cut that off. Cut it. Don't show him nailing the word.
Forget that this is really embarrassing and humiliating for the...
It's fine. I was listening real time, and I was like, oh, they're going to use that on Hannity. And they did, and they didn't show the very next thing where he got it right, which we just watched, by the way.
The country, this is bad for him. This is bad for the free world.
Come on. Bad for the free world. Come on, Sean. Show the next 10 seconds.
World's
hostile. I'm embarrassed for him. Actually, I'm not embarrassed. I don't fucking care.
Actors from Russia to China to Iran to North Korea.
Right. China's watching that. And they're like, oh, you know what? We can take over Taiwan now because he didn't say kleptocracy right the first time, but then he got it correct.
And everyone else in between.
What a snowflake. Sean Hannity is the ultimate snowflake.
They're witnessing it, and they've already made the same determination as most of the American people.
And tell us again how Delaware has no early voting. Tell us again, Sean. It does.
What we are witnessing is a downward trajectory of a man that is obviously, clearly, transparently not well, and it's getting...
He's doing fine, Sean. Doing just fine.
Worse every day.
It isn't. Show the next 10 seconds.
Here are just a few more recent examples. Take a look.
Maine, New Hampshire, America have gone on the mend. They're not on the mend any longer. They're on the move. Please sit down.
Okay, he corrected himself. That is the definition of cognitive. He is aware of what is happening. He's aware of his own words.
I'm Jill's husband.
And by the way, he corrects himself. He doesn't pretend that he meant to say that. I believe the children are the furniture and the future.
And Naomi Biden's grandfather. Senator Duckworth introduced her. Maine, New Hampshire, America have gone on the mend. They're not on the mend any longer. They're on the move. Please sit down. I'm Jill's husband. And Naomi Biden's grandfather. Senator Duckworth.
Okay. He literally corrected the word within the word. He never even finished the word and corrected it. We all do that. I have a Hannity clip. Hold on. I captured this clip from Hannity. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. It would be under videos. I hope it's under Hannity. Let's see if I got it. Let's see. Let's put this in. It was February 15th, I think. Did I get it? Let's see if this is it. No, hold on. Let me organize. Oh, what day was it? Give me a second. View. Let's go by details. Let's go by date. There we go. And let's go by this. No, I don't think I got it. Go to details again. Give me a second. This is 2020. No, I haven't captured anything this year. Oh, that's why, because my stupid video card wasn't capturing at that point. So sorry about that segue, folks. It's a dead end.
Duckworth introduced her to 11-year-old.
But I think it's Hannity making fun of Biden not getting the words right, and he gets the words wrong. But anyway.
Is it Vivian? Vivian. I'm sorry, Vivian. Woman.
Okay, that's somebody who pronounces their name incorrectly, by the way. Your name is Vivian.
Who just died.
I don't know. Maybe it's spelled differently. I have no idea.
The Secretary of State used to have an expression. She said, "We are the."
I'll tell you a story about people who don't pronounce their name correctly. We were waiting. Was shooting a commercial, and we're waiting for this guy. We cannot shoot this next scene, and it was something with a huge setup, like literally a vehicle on the set. So once you move a vehicle onto the set, it is a huge production, literally, to take it in and take it out of the studio and move things, and it's beep beep, and all the guys have to be watching, and we have to wait for Daryl. Where is Daryl? Can somebody get a hold of Daryl? Okay, Daryl. Everyone's waiting on Daryl. Daryl. 15 minutes past, 20 minutes past. Oh, he's almost here. Half an hour. Daryl walks in a half an hour late. He says, "I'm really sorry, guys. Traffic was really bad." In fact, I don't even know that he said sorry. He just walks in. He's like, "Traffic was really bad. Traffic. Okay, yeah, I know. We all deal with traffic. Okay, every once in a while they'll shut a freeway down. Traffic was not that bad." He walks in. And he says, "Sorry, guys, traffic." He doesn't say, I would say sorry, because I'm Canadian. But he just, traffic was really bad. He's holding a hot cup of Starbucks. Traffic is really bad, but he's got himself a steaming cup of Starbucks. So, okay. Oh, my God. So, waiting on Daryl. We rush him right to costuming. The costume guy, wonderful guy, he says, oh, fantastic. You must be Daryl. And Daryl says, in a very condescending way, as if he'd just been slapped across the face and someone had stolen his children. Daryl says, it's Darrell. From now on, I want you to call me Kevin.
The essential nation. The First Lady's husband contracting COVID, but look at this room and what you see. Pardon? That's right. She's fine. It's me. That's not together.
Okay, somebody corrected him and he realized his mistake and went right into it. Okay.
The second lady, the first gentleman. and a pound of Ukrainian people, the proud.
Yeah, and that is weird too. I mean, he's had, how old is he? 112 years of saying first lady, not saying second gentleman.
Proud people, pound for pound, ready to fight with every inch of energy they have.
And don't forget, come on, man.
What?
Are you
I don't even know.
Not together.
I gotta listen. Sorry, I missed what the gaffe was there. I was reading something.
Second lady, the first gentleman, and a
corrected himself. Got it right.
Pound of Ukrainian people, the proud people, pound for pound, ready to fight with every inch of energy they have.
And don't forget, come on.
I'm not sure what the gaffe was there, but okay. The proud Ukrainian people. So he read the word pound first, or maybe he just ad-libbed, did what Trump does, and incorporated the word he read wrong into the next sentence. I don't know, but if he did, that was good use of it.
Come on, man. Are you a junkie? All this truth to be self-evident, all men and women created equal, endowed by the thing. Oh, you know the thing. Look at this.
Yeah. Instead of saying the entire Pledge of Allegiance, he said, "Oh, you know the thing."
Compilation put together
you
by
know
the RNC.
It's not really. It was an aside. Yeah, we've talked about that before.
See, think of it and ask yourself the question.
Yeah.
The honest question.
Yes.
Is he up to the job, the toughest job in the world?
Apparently.
Of being the president of the United States.
Yeah, I don't know that's the toughest job in the world, but okay.
Watch.
That's really an insult to everybody who digs literal ditches. I mean, if Trump could be president, it's not that hard of a job.
But the nature, not when.
Okay, yeah, he's thinking about what he should say. Thinking before speaking. Oh my God! How can he be president? Why doesn't he just say the first thing that comes into his head? I'm going to skip ahead here because it's all nonsense, and that music might give me a copyright strike. What's this about?
Of life, he struggles to walk, he struggles to talk, he is confused, he's often agitated, he forgets names and...
Yeah, he slipped on the steps. Oh my God. This incident down here, this August 10th, 2021, where he walked around something because somebody, they're saying like he's lost, he doesn't know where he's going, he took the wrong path. No, they were doing construction on a sidewalk, and somebody in the Secret Service or somebody else there said, go around the other way. And so he did. And if you watch the video from the beginning, you can see the pallet with stuff loaded on it. They were redoing the brickwork or something. I don't even know. But he's obviously not lost. Such stupidity. It's dishonesty.
Dates and places. He averages less than one public event every day, and his staff works triple overtime to block unscheduled questions or...
On Easter, he was saying hi to the kids. He was saying hi to the people, but he's like, no, we got to go. We got to go over there. Okay, but I'm talking to the people. God forbid we have a man of the people.
Promptu interactions without the general public, without days and...
I don't know what this March 27th thing is. He's getting off of Marine Force One, it looks like. I don't know what that is.
Days and days and days and days of preparation and sleep and rest.
Oh, this... When Obama was there, and Obama's glad-handing everybody, he's a superstar, you know. He's behind Obama, and they featured this on Fox like he was being ignored. And he's like, I think this is, and I'd have to watch the thing, it's just silliness. But he's standing behind Obama, and he's like, hey, buddy, let's go talk with this person. And then that happens, if that's the exact moment in the video. But they have all this video of Biden sort of standing there looking around. Yeah, because that's what people do at gatherings. He wasn't the focus of attention because Obama was there.
And God only knows
the most popular person on the planet, by the way.
What else is going on behind the scenes? When are we just going to acknowledge the obvious? Joe Biden is not capable of doing this job.
You know what, though? He slipped on some stairs, which we've all done. Hell, I broke my foot on a tennis ball. Accident happen.
Now,
I mean, you were born.
Some of you might think that's mean. I'll explain in a moment.
No, it's not mean. It's just dumb.
The Democrats raise this question quite a bit. Now, we have a 25th Amendment to the Constitution. It was brought up often during the Trump presidency. It says, if the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties...
So you want Kamala in charge
of his office, the vice president shall immediately assume powers and duties of the office as acting president. Now, this can be triggered by the president himself or the vice president, along with the majority of the cabinet. I'd like to remind all you liberals out there saying, Hannity's calling for the 25th Amendment. No, I'm not saying that, but I think we need to pay very close.
Yeah, this is he went to shake somebody's hand and the person turned away, not realizing the president wanted to shake their hand. It's like, all right, leave me hanging, bro. It's fine. There was a person there. But when you only show that angle, it looks like he's shaking nobody's hand.
Close attention to what's going on. But if you're watching, you might want to remember, you were the biggest fans on the left, weren't you, in the media mob of the 25th Amendment? Under Reagan and then during the McCain campaign, you brought up the age issue quite often. You did it during all those moments. Democrats were eager to raise questions about their...
I don't remember anyone doing it during McCain, but okay, sure.
Political opponents' age, mental fitness for office. Under Donald Trump, they frequently called for the 25th Amendment.
They've certainly brought it up under Biden as well.
Just because they didn't like him.
I go back to the campaign. There were several people, including some of the people watching this right now, who said he's too old.
Despite
there's a lot of ageism.
Former president's obvious keen mental acuity, incredible stamina.
Yeah, he took the X test, so it proves he's smarter than everyone.
He comes on this show.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV. I remember that for 5 minutes. By the way, person, woman, man, camera, TV, none of those things are on the Montreal Cognitive Test.
Show speaks 45 minutes, no notes.
We all remember that months later, but he was impressed that he could remember it for 5 minutes.
God bless you, God bless America, and he can talk fluently on every single topic with no preparation. It is now past time for everyone to ask. Acuity, incredible stamina. He comes on this show, speaks 45 minutes, no notes. God bless you, God bless America, and he can talk fluently on every single topic with no preparation. It is now past time for everyone to ask the same.
He can't. He doesn't answer questions. Remember all the questions you've asked him over the years that he starts talking about the southern border? Remember that? I mean, you live these moments. You're supposed to follow up and say, but sir, I was asking about this. Can you give me an answer to this question? Nope. What about Putin? Just on the southern borders, best say they could have gone to the beach. Gone to the beach.
Same question about Joe Biden. Is Joe Biden mentally fit to serve? The majority of the American people, they've been asked, they say no. Look at this new Harvard-Harris poll. 53%.
Well, yeah, because you keep spewing out crap like this and not showing them the entirety of the video and putting it into context. Text.
Yeah, they see.
See? I just made a mistake on a word. I'm unfit for office.
What we see. They doubt Joe's mental abilities. And I agree with the American people. I do not believe he is.
Really? Because 47 of them says he's mentally fit.
Is fit to serve, and it's getting worse. So, will his cabinet kick him to the curb? Probably not.
No.
And do I think Kamala Harris is particularly a great replacement? Nope, that's scary in other ways. Okay. But at the very least, isn't it time now that the American public demand that the President of the United States takes a real cognitive...
Oh, I knew we were going there.
Test and release those results to the public. Now, President Trump did it with no problem.
By the way, the results of Trump's test, his X test, were never released to the public. All we have is Dr. Ronnie Jackson saying, oh yeah, he passed. Trump says he aced it. No, it's very difficult to do. Honestly though, how many people can identify a camel? And not an actual camel. They don't bring a camel into the room with the doctors. It's a picture of a camel. It could be a dromedary. We don't know. And isn't a dromedary actually a camel? Wait, what about a llama? How many? Is it one hunt? A llama? Well, like, it could be an alpaca. We don't know. We don't know. Wait a minute. Alpacas don't have hump. Oh, my God. It's very confusing. And he aced it, which means he's smarter than everyone.
And he was told when he took the test, whatever the results are, they will be made public.
They were not. So he was lied to.
He took it. He aced the test 30 out of 30. President Biden refuses to take this test because everyone around him, and we know the enablers are all around him, even being saved by the Easter Bunny, they know he would fail. We are living in deeply troubling, dangerous times, and it's...
Yep. It's not a test to prove how smart you are. It is a test for dementia. The MoCA. Montreal Cognitive Assessment. And I'm guessing that so they have short-term recall, scoring, blah, blah, blah. Oh, interesting. 1 point. He didn't ace it because you get an extra point. 1 point is added to the test taker score if they have 12 years or less of formal education. He went to Penn and then Wharton. Maybe he went somewhere else and then he went to Wharton. But anyway, he claims he went to Wharton. He didn't. So Donald Trump is an educated man. He doesn't qualify for that extra point. I didn't even realize this until today. He did not have the highest score possible. Other people have scored more highly than Donald Trump. So no, he did not ace the test. Let's see where it is. Show me a picture of it. That's what I want to see. Okay, here we go. Here are some of the questions. Can you guys identify this? That's a lion, rhinoceros. This is not a difficult test. Here's the whole thing. Okay, so let's bring this up. Okay, here we go. So copy this cube. You have to begin here and you have to end here. I don't even know what that... Oh, no, that's two different questions. Okay. Oh, you have to go 1 to A, 2 to B, 3 to C, 4 to D, 5 to... Okay. I'm a genius, people. Did you see me just do that? I'm smarter than all y'all. Draw a clock. 10 past 11. So you have to draw a clock and you have to put your tiny little hands on there. The tiny little Trump hands. Which must have been very difficult for him. The doctor was probably like, wait, I can't really see those. Oh, they're there. They're some of the biggest hands you've ever seen. No one's ever seen hands that big. You got to name a lion, a rhinoceros, a camel. Here's your memory. This is person, woman, man, camera, TV. Face, the examples are face, velvet, church, daisy. God, I should have told you that. I remembered all of those. First trial, second trial. Read a list of digits. So you have to, you're basically told 21854, and then your job to say 21854. Can you do that? You're a genius. Hold on, guys. Try this at home. I'm just going to read these. Don't look at the screen. Close your eyes. Go ahead and repeat these in backwards order. 742. See if you can do it. If you can, you're as smart as President Trump. 742. Take your time. The correct answer is 247. Did you get it right? You're a genius. This is the X test, people. Let's see. Read list of letters. The subject must tap with his hand at each letter A. So let's do it, people. Every time you hear the letter A, I want you to tap with your hand. Okay? You'll know you got it right because I'm going to ring the bell. F, B, A, C, M, A, J, K, L, B, A, F, A, K, D, E, A, J, A, M, O, F. You get the point. If you can do that, you're a genius. Thank you to the judges, for the way, by running in here with that bell. Language. Repeat. I only know that John is the one to help today. Try and do that at home. I only know that John is the one to help today. Which is a weird sentence, honestly. Repeat this. The cat always hid under the couch when dogs were in the room. If you can do that, you're a genius. Okay. Abstraction. This is abstractive thinking. Similarity between, for example, banana and orange, those are both fruit. I would also accept those are both things that are appealing. Okay, so similarities here. Train, bicycle. If you can come up with an answer why those things are similar, then you win. You're a genius. Watch and a ruler. A watch and a ruler are both things that you wear on your body. Okay? Well, everyone likes to watch TV. Everyone likes to watch me on TV, and I am the ruler of the United States. Thank you, genius. Oh, and then go back and tell me, this is actually pretty difficult. Go back and tell me the things without looking that I just read. Remember the list of words? Not the person, woman, man, camera, TV. What did I say? What were the list of words that I just said? We have to go back now and do that. Face, velvet, church, daisy, and the color red is the correct answer. If you couldn't do that, you have cognitive dissonance. Of course, when you're taking the test, you're paying attention. What's the date? What's the month? What's the year? What's the day? I would get this wrong sometimes. I don't have a job. It's the 29th. I only know that because... okay, and then you get a total. You can get a total out of 30. You can get 30 out of 30, but you get one extra if you have fewer than 12 years of education. So, you can get 31 out of 30 on this test. So everyone who says that Trump got 30 right, he didn't ace the test. Okay, let's get back to the nonsense at hand.
It's bad for our allies. It is bad for our...
Stephanie's actually answering. Yes, Stephanie. Watches and rulers both measure things. Today is the Hitler bunker finale anniversary. Complete. Talk about abstract. You passed the test. Bananas and oranges are weapons. That's true. Bananas and oranges, they're both things that I do not eat.
The world, it is bad for all of us to have...
What about watch and ruler, Mr. President? Watch and ruler, they are also both things I do not eat most of the time.
This cognitive wreck as a president and those around him with radical, beyond belief ideas.
But that's the test. We just took the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, or the MOCA, if you will. I wish somebody would give me that test at some point in my life, because I would completely mess with them.
That are now whoever's making the decisions, the ones that say, tell Joe, I'm not allowed to.
I hope years from now they give me that test. Daisy, red, velvet. Can we remember them now without having a red? Red's the last one. Daisy's second last. Red's the second. I've forgotten the other two. There you go. See? I am incognitively coherent.
Take a question, they get really mad at me and everything. Now, yesterday, just days after Elon Musk...
What was that about people getting mad at him?
With radical, beyond belief ideas that are now whoever's making the decisions, the ones that say, tell Joe, I'm not allowed to take a question. They get really mad at me and everything.
He took questions yesterday. He took several questions yesterday. Okay. I don't know why he's not showing those.
Yes.
Because they don't fit the narrative. Democrats evil.
Today, just days after Elon Musk. So we have to ask that question. We will tonight. Now, days after Elon Musk successfully purchased...
Okay, so we're going to go over the government CREEP program. Let's see if he has anybody interesting. Tulsi Gabbard, not interesting. Has him on for a while. Dr. Oz. Okay, Dr. Oz is going to confirm the cognitive dissonance. Let's find out.
But when you see Joe Biden in the 80s and 90s and even 2008, 12, 16, you can see a very different person today. He's a shell of his former self to me, and it's, to me, a danger.
Yeah, he's 78. Doesn't mean he's cognitively dissonant.
To the country and, more importantly, the world. Do you see it?
Oh, the world is more important to the country than the country. That's what Sean Hannity just said. America is not as important as the world as a whole. That is treason in the GOP.
As a medical doctor.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. You know, we do these town halls all across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and every single one
doesn't live in Pennsylvania, running for Senate in Pennsylvania.
Comes up that our leaders should have cognitive tests. And there's a simple one President Trump took, the Montreal Cognitive Assessment. By the way, I put it on DrOz.com, so all the viewers now, when the show's done, can go to it and just do it yourself. Simple test. Remember,
simple test. Simple test, because Trump calls it a very complicated test, and he aced it.
5 words.
Also calls it the X test.
And then remember them in 5 minutes. Or start right now counting back by 7s from 100. Simple test, not the...
That's not on there. But okay. Is it on there and I missed it? I don't think that's on there. Hold on, let's go back. I just want to see if I missed it. Because that is really funny. That the guy who just said memory tests are important doesn't remember, doesn't even know what's on the test. Count backwards. That's by the way, that is a test, but they use that for concussions. And maybe some other things. I don't know. Attention. List of digits. Okay. Oh no, it's on there. We skipped it. That shows you my cognitive ability. Start at 100 and go backwards by 7s. That is a test for concussion, and it's a test for this. And believe it or not, if you try it, it's harder than it seems. It seems like it should be so... Oh yeah, 100, 93, and then wait. 3 from 7, it's a 6, so 80. Yeah. It is harder than it seems. So, okay, I take it back. I apologize to Dr. Oz. He is correct.
Difficult to do. President Biden had a physical last November. His Dr. O'Connor did not conduct this test or any other cognitive test that we're aware of. And yet...
Right, because there was no reason to.
As you point out, half of the American public suspect that he's mentally unfit. How do you explain the forgetfulness, the outbursts, the handshakes into the air, or the, quote...
Well, we explained those.
The guys who are...
You're welcome to watch, by the way. And again, you were right about this.
Are the
but you should watch the John Oliver episode on Dr. Oz. It's hilarious.
Kleptocracies. And by the way, it's a pretty brave move to put kleptocracy in the prompter.
But what?
Point out half of the American public suspect that he's mentally unfit. How do you explain the forgetfulness, the outbursts, the handshakes into the air, or the, quote, the guys who are the kleptocracies? And by the way, it's a pretty brave move to put kleptocracy in the...
He got it wrong. He got kleptocracy wrong. One more time. Oh, I wish I could record video right now.
Aware of. And yet, as you point out, half of the American public suspect that he's mentally unfit. How do you explain the forgetfulness, the outbursts, the handshakes into the air, or the, quote, the guys who are the kleptocracies? And by the way, it's a pretty brave move to put kleptocracy in the...
I can't even say it. Kleptocracy. What does he say? Holy shit. Somebody mark down the time here. What? I gotta go back and I gotta capture. I gotta get the video card working today. Screw the leaking toilets. We're making this happen today. That's my #1 priority. Screw the fact that the garage door won't shut. This is it. Like 2030. Let's call it 2033. I'm going to email myself this. And this must be captured. I don't know. Did Jason or Aaron catch this yesterday? Let's see. Dr. Oz. Kleptocracy. It is a pretty brave move to put it on the teleprompter. And this is, what was the date yesterday? This is a cognition test. 28. It was a 28th Hannity at, what did we say? 20? No, it was 10:33? 2033. We'll say 2030. 2030. Okay, I'm going to email myself this. This is my brain, pretty much. It's just my email account. So, for example, I was at my physical a couple days ago, and my doctor said, do you know when your last tetanus shot was? Hold on. I searched tetanus in subject, and my email shows me 1/22/2015. Boom. That's what I do now for everything that happens of any import in my life. When I put something somewhere, let's say I buy somebody a Christmas gift, which I don't do, but just hypothetically, I'm not going to give people things. So I'll tell you a story about my Jewish friends in a second. But I put something somewhere. Oh, here's a good hiding spot. And with producer Jojo, anything above like 5'5" is a great hiding spot. She'll never find it. But anyway, you put something somewhere, and then I have to email myself because come Christmas time, I have no clue where that is. You know, and I sometimes don't even remember what the thing was. Well, I know I got you something, kids. Yeah, Santa was delayed because of a snowstorm. So my very, very good Jewish friends, my friend Lindsay and his sister, producer Jojo, who's not watching right now. I think she's playing tennis or something. I don't know. Anyway, and I hope I don't embarrass either of them by telling this story. It's very, very funny. And as people who celebrate Christmas, you'll appreciate this. They're Jewish. They didn't grow up celebrating Christmas. But this last year, Jojo bought Lindsay a Christmas gift. And there was some discussion of whether he was going to buy a Christmas gift or whatever. But his response was, I don't want to make this a whole thing that we do every year. Christmas. Exchanging presents. I don't want to make this a whole thing that we do every year. Because you know how everyone hates that. Lindsay himself is conducting the war on Christmas, I guess. I get it. Hanukkah, great. They don't exchange 8 nights of gifts. But Jojo, you know, and I know some people feel badly that they don't celebrate Christmas, so they just start celebrating Christmas. Enjoy. You are welcome to celebrate Christmas with the rest of us. I am welcome to celebrate Hanukkah. Everybody can do Kwanzaa, whatever you want. Celebrate whatever you want. But talk about Scrooge. I don't want to make this Christmas thing a whole thing. Anyway, love them both. Wonderful people.
Prompter. But these are, you know,
you know what? We're going to leave this so that it's right there. And I'm going to get on with my day. The first thing I'm going to do is eat something, and then I'm going to figure out how to make this record video again because it won't do it. And that angers me. So I got to figure out how to record video. I'll write to our friend Asen and see what he's using right now. And see if that'll work on my computer. Because that's hilarious. One more time, and then we'll end for the day. Movie night tonight.
The public suspect that he's mentally unfit. How do you explain the forgetfulness, the outbursts, the handshakes into the air, or the, quote, the guys who are the kleptocracies? And by the way, it's a pretty brave move to put kleptocracy in the prompter.
It is. It is. I can't even repeat what he just said. Somebody spell that for me, what he says.
And yet, as you point out, half of the American public suspect that he's mentally unfit. How do you explain the forgetfulness, the outbursts, the handshakes into the air, or the, quote, the guys who are the kleptocracies?
Yep.
And by the way, it's a pretty brave move to put kleptocracy in the...
Kleptocracy? I can't. Like, my brain won't even process it because my brain automatically corrects it because I see myself reading it off a teleprompter, and my brain goes into a certain mode because I read from teleprompter so often of hitting the letters. So when I see kleptocracy, I hit the C, I hit the T. That's how my brain processes that word. I know it's weird, but remember, I got 31 on the X test. Okay, kiddos, I'm going to leave you here. Maybe we'll talk later. I haven't broadcast much this week, so if somebody finds a Trump interview that I missed this week, I know there's the one, we should maybe watch the one with Piers Morgan. Is that his name? Piers? Sounds wrong for some reason. Yeah, somebody spell that for me before we go. Somebody, come on. We'll play it one more time. Somebody spell it for me. Kleptocracy. Kleptoptrishy. Kleptoptrishy. I can't even say it. How did he say it? It's an impossible word to pronounce, cynical creator. Hold on, one more time.
Aware of. And yet, as you point out, half of the American public suspect that he's mentally unfit. How do you...
His pronunciation of suspect was even suspect.
Explain the forgetfulness, the outbursts, the handshakes into the air, or the, quote, the guys who are the kleptocracies. And by the way, it's a pretty brave move to put kleptocracy in the...
Kleptocracy. Kleptocracy. Or as Cynical says, kleptoptrishy. Oh, the irony! I love that. You're supposed to have a little irony in your breakfast, and this was enough for me for today. I will see you guys later. Be good to yourself, be good to others, and be good to everybody in the if you run into a kleptocrap, enjoy your day.